Okay, look what's up next. It is a Billy Goat push blower, ancient. $80 hairs on Marketplace. I should have filmed the walk around first, but I didn't. I got antsy-pantsy and did battle with the tires. These are totally bunged off the rims, and I had to pull the old, take out the whole axle, take them over there, put a ratchet strap around it. The 3/4 inch bearing on the inside's blown out completely. It's gone. I just shoved it on there. I'm hoping that when I lift it off of here, I'll be able to at least roll it around. The front wheel is bent and bunged, and the support underneath is rusted out. So there'll have to be some welding on the bottom, assuming that the engine is all gonna come back to life. So that's step one, but I think it's a Honda engine. I think it's 11 horse, so I'm hoping that that's still good. So next thing to do, I think that's still leaking despite my efforts, but maybe it'll hold together long enough to wheel it in. But anyway, got 2 blowers because a buddy wants one, and he hot pressure washed it off, which this stuff looks like it's oil. It's not. That's a seal coat. Both these are 2 different guys that said they used to own a seal coat business and used these for blowing off, I guess, driveways and whatnot. Anyway, let's get this thing wheeled in the house where I can operate. Ah, yes. Oh, it barely fits now. Oh God, I gotta hold on to it. Hold on. All right, easy now. I don't believe I can film this because there's going to be an incident. So let me put you down. Well, you can see the rest of the way. I don't know if I told you guys about this thing, but this was a mobility chairlift I got from an auction for like, I don't know, 20 bucks, I think it was. I think I did a YouTube video on installing it in this UTV, and just 3 bolts. Take it out. Use it like a regular UTV when you point it, and then I have T-nuts on the bottom that hold it down, so it's easy to get in and out of there. All right. Step 1, get this calamity on the workbench. Old chain hoist. You get the idea. All right, so it's up here. First thing I'm gonna do though, I'm gonna put I don't have an E-clip, but I'm gonna put a snap ring on that because I don't feel like having this pop off anymore. We're gonna have to maneuver it around. So anywho, the plan is this got to come off. So the front cover plate that actually mounts the front roller, I'm gonna take all that off and see how bad the rust is under there, but also get it off the engine. It's gonna probably be a bugger to get it off that motor shaft, but I figure I can't do anything to test the motor until that's off of there because I don't trust that this isn't hitting parts that have rusted and bent in. So we got to get the blower off the front. Whoops, my eyeball saw that wrong. GX240. So it is a 7.9 horsepower machine. Not the 11 that I was hoping for, but well, what do you want for a nickel? Ain't got one. Gotta make one. 1,000 degrees. You gonna cooperate? Damn, it is really hot. Weird. Well, oh yeah, get on there. Now, gotta clean it up. Oh yeah. It's gonna cooperate now? Yes. Well, it ain't pretty, but it won't fall off. Okay, now I can wiggle the thing around without fear of that exploding. Okay, so we got that off. The good news is it's all beefy steel. This bend is not weak, but you can see why, obviously. It wasn't tracking right with this wheel bent up. Of course, as if not to disappoint, the bearings are completely seized up inside, spinning on a bolt. So motor first, but we'll have to address all those kind of things. You don't think there's anything crazy like backwards motor shaft or something? What is this about? I don't understand. I might have to do a little online investigating. This is plastic, which surprised me. I don't want to break anything, but we got to get that off of there. At least I think we do. Let's see what I can do. Well, at least one bit of good news is the engine makes engine-y huffs and sounds. So it's not completely devoid of compression. So that's a very good sign. Compression, spark, fuel. Keep going. Actually, here's a good chance you can see the metal that's blown out down there. The good news is the thick stuff over here, I think that should easily be weldable. So since the wheel touches out here, the other wheel's back there, you don't have to have this perfectly smooth under here. I'll just somehow bend a lip on this side of it and weld the plate under there. Alright, now this is all assuming the engine works. Yeah, if I can get by with just taking these three off, and that holds this triangular piece on and the plastic, that'd be fine. Then I can leave everything else together, which would be great. Let's see if that works. Oh yeah, sure those won't have any problem, because I think I don't. My eyes might deceive, but I'm pretty sure that's welded. So I don't think that's coming out anyways. The center bolt might. I don't know. Let's hope we don't have to mess with it. You don't need to worry about if it's impact rated. Oh. Maybe it would behoove me to wire wheel those. Nah. Send it. Well, just perfect. Come on. Be the one. Now what do you do? Wall. Let's think here. Well, it looks like there's a nut under there. I don't know how this thing works. Don't break the plastic. Right? Is that the goal? Yes. Okay. Now, do you suppose it's true that those nuts will come off and then it looks like it? Huh? Oh, they're just spacers. Weird. Could that really be all that holds that on? Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, it is shoved on there, pressed on there, but how, pray tell, do we get that off? Got it wiggling. Is that the sign of success? Or quit? Well, it's wiggling, but it's not coming off. I think it's gonna. I don't know how this thing works though. You know, as soon as I cut the camera off, it'll work. So let me just turn the camera off. Okay, it's loose and it moved a bunch. Ah, yeah. Excellent. Good. That is easy peasy then, because now I'll just drive this off, set this aside, and that means I'm not afraid for the motor to turn over with that in there. Alright, what's next? I think let me well, I guess I'm gonna pull the spark plug, spray some lube down the cylinder just cause, check the engine oil on this thing, and then we can check for spark. Oh boy. Okay, got the plug out. There it is. Oh, it's all right. Let's go jam it in the test rig. Testing. This setup, by the way, is in another video. It's just a string trimmer taking apart the body and the coil pistons out of it, but just stick a drill on it, threaded 2 holes and made a bracket so any spark plug will fit in it. That's certainly enough to start. I use a mixture. This is to spray in the cylinders. This is automatic transmission fluid mixed with Marvel Mystery Oil. Used to use it all the time for RC glow airplanes to preserve them when you get done running them. It worked great for those. I never had corrosion, and I don't know, seems to work. Plus, I have it laying around, so that means you're supposed to use it. That means it's the best. Yep. All right, I stuck my finger over the spark plug hole as I turned it with just the, bolt sticking out of that plate, and I did feel a little bit of compression on my thumb, so I think that's a thing. So I guess, really, in order to test anything else, we need a way to turn this motor over. I could use that bolt, but I don't wanna, because this needs fixed anyway. Let's just fix the recoil starter, if it can be fixed without buying parts, because obviously it's bunged up now. At least 2 of the bolts are out and the cord's broke, and yeah, it's a hot mess. See if we can get that going. Oh God, that didn't want to come out. Well, we had a quality 2 bolts holding this whole thing on. Is that a good start? Nope. Pathetic. Alright. Well, I can see what happened. They blew that nut out of there. Huh. Well, question. I think I know the answer though. I was gonna say, why are there all these bolt holes? Where was the cord supposed to go? Doesn't seem right. Was this the... Well, first of all, can you even see anything? Probably not. Is this the hole that the cord would have gone? I don't think so. I might have to look up the owner's manual if I can find it, but I don't know what model this is. Well, anyways, there's nothing on the handle to indicate where this pull start would have been. Would it have been what makes sense? Does that make sense? No. That's where it seems to want to be. Nah, it's got to be. It's got to be like that, I think. And point out that way. Because that way you can stand on the side of the machine and pull it. That's what we're going to go with, I think. Can't tell from the lettering of these words, can you? Nope. Alright, then. I have no idea why that's blown off also. But the mechanism, if it wasn't all bunged up, seems like it functions. Both ears stick out. The spring is still somewhat functional. We're gonna go with it. I don't know how I'm gonna get that nut to fit back in there though. It's too thin to weld, I think. Just don't know. Well, you know what? There's only a few bolts that hold that on. I guess I could take the red cover off and work on it and get 3 solid mount points first, but yeah. All right, so let me turn the camera off and get that going. See what happens. Ah, don't go getting lost immediately. Okay. Two down. Okay. So far, so good. I think this is it. I think. Right. Don't fall. But I need to rotate. Oh God. That's what I didn't want to have happen. Okay. How do I disconnect this switch? Oh. How does that disconnect? Man, I can't see it. Ugh. Well, that's not very helpful. Zaza. All right. That comes out. And I think... Now, why did that push down for? Which one does that go to? Nothing? That's weird. That's not the one I was pulling on anyway. Oh. Ugh. This is pretty gacked up. Well. Let's try that route. Isn't that supposed to come out of there? Wall. Okay. Alright. And this one was in that one, wasn't it? Isn't that what I just did? Still don't know how this comes out of there. Come on, Wayne. Cooperate. Alright. What a hot, steamy mess. Okay, free. Kinda. Oh. Alright. We have a giant rat's nest in there. Yeah. What is this, seal coat and filth? Well, mostly feels like oil. Gummed up oil. Either way, whatever it is, it doesn't need to be in here. Give it a fighting chance. I tested this the other day. Probably should retest that. Anyway, what do we got? Hold on. Toxic spill on the ground. Oh. Okay. All right. What all do we have under here? This little fella laying in the schmoo. Oh God. Okay. Oh yeah. Giant piles of gack. Okay. Right. Well, the flywheel looks, the plastic fan, I'm trying to say, looks tolerable. They're not, I mean, they did get gimmed. Some of the blades ran into that metal thing, but all things considered, I think we're all right. You never never get enough on the first pass, you know? Alright. What do you think that went to? I don't know. We'll hang on to it. So, we need to... It's going to be iffy. But I think what I'm going to do is... attempt to beat this ring back flat. And I guess try to give it a with the welder. Jeez. Well, can't break it more than broke. I knew what the switch did. I mean, I know what it does, but does it ground things out? It only has one wire that goes to it. Is that what it's supposed to do? Is just ground right out? Let's find out. Real quick. And only for a second. We're on continuity. Oh, you bounced it. That doesn't count. Struggling to get a good contact point. Fail. You couldn't even see what I'm doing. Trying to hold that on there and that to ground. It was working. I don't think I can get a good. I can't get. I cannot hold everything. It's too fiddly. Pretty sure the switch works. Gee, many Christmas. Nothing says good time like inconsistency. Yep, I'm gonna say that switch works just fine. One more thing we don't have to fiddle with later. All right, turn the camera off. I'm gonna get set up. I'm not going to film myself doing it probably, but let me smash that flat, get it welded in there, and see what we got. Okay, we're gonna check for spark somehow. See a spark plug over there? Am I gonna be in your way if I'm right here? No, you can see it. So the spark plug is obviously out of the hole because that's a spark plug. And I thought, well, this would be a good time to test it because I got access to the nut here. So let's see. Yeah, plenty. Perfect. Okay, looks terrible. Don't care. It's welded on there. Ooh, is that ugly. Don't care. It's solid. This is the original nut. Although, where'd the washer go? Well, I had to find another washer. Anyway, I found two more that are the wrong length, but the threads match. So I'm gonna cut those off and or cut one of them. This is another that seemed to fit, but maybe I'll just use that one. That's easier. Let me try that out. If it fits, then I'm just gonna use a washer and a lock washer on it to hold it out from getting into any fins in there. Either way, let me get this thing mounted on there. Nothing wrong with this. And I got the other end. I can't believe that was tight on the handle. Went down the highway and didn't blow off, didn't rip off, but it didn't. So we got all the pieces. Let's get this thing assembled and that way we can crank it over. I know it's not precise. Don't worry about it. Something like that. Weird, it's getting hot. All right, hit that with a file. Okay, we're ready to install. This is rechuched. Maybe I should have filmed that. I don't know. All you got to do is pull this metal piece out of the handle, tie a knot, fish the rope through the metal piece, then through the rubber piece. Then you wind this by hand 4 or 5 times. Then you stick the other end of the rope through the hole and through the plastic part rewind mechanism and tie a knot. Before you tie a knot though, test it and make sure it'll suck it all in there and that you put enough rope in it to actually be able to, you know, try to pull start the thing. Anyway, I probably should have filmed it, but I didn't, so. This is ready to go. I buttered it up with WD-40. I don't think you want to use oil because that would attract dirt and gum it up. But I feel like by putting WD-40 in there, whatever dust and crud was in there kind of breaks up and will just flush out. Then the WD-40 will dry up and evaporate. It doesn't stick around. So anyway, I think it works. It's nice and smooth. I overdid it. Like it never happened. Just. Alright. Let me get this thing bolted on here. You don't need to worry about all that oil. But I do need to worry about that oil. Because I hate to add oil twice, but I'm going to have to add something to make sure there's enough oil in the engine. Because we're almost at the point where we're going to attempt to shove some fuel down its face and get it to pop off. So, yeah. Alright. Let's get this jammed on here. These the right size? I'll be dipped. Alright. Something like that, didn't we say? Whew, I hope I didn't flub this up because there's a tight margin. I just now realized. I'm not going to put the new bolt in the new hole. I did test it. It goes in. Well, apparently if you actually, you know, line it up with a hole and give it a chance. Just! Oh my god. Fiddle, fiddle. That one's going. Be the one. Well, now looking, I don't think that one's original. It doesn't have a flange. I'm struggling. Just keeps pushing in the socket. Guess all right, you don't have to watch me struggle. They tricked me. I should have used that second bolt that I had. Anyway, let me get these started. Struggle over. Now, will it actually... Oh, get this thing where I can mess with it. Can actually pull it. Okay. Alright then. I guess next, let me rehook this switch junk in there and verify that we still have spark. Yeah, hold on. Alright, pulled the air cleaner off the top. They had stuck this onto this, which is which is a cable throttle handle, I guess. So I guess it doesn't have a throttle control, at least not one that's tied to the cable. But this is a fuel shutoff. That's where the line from the tank should go. I don't know what this is yet because I can't see behind there, but one way or the other, the carb's got to come off, so that's next on the to-do. Setbacks. Can't fit the carburetor off the posts without removing this handle. Well, one side has the shock absorber mounts. Those are rubber. One side is got carriage bolts. So somebody was in here fiddle faddling, so I guess we're gonna do that first anyway. So that's the struggle. You don't need to watch me try to struggle to take it off, but I'm going to get those two off, then I'll remove this whole handle, get out of the way, and get back to the carburetor. Okay. Here's an example of someone that deserves to be beaten. I mean, there's a field fix. Then you come home and fix it right. So you take out the shock absorbers completely. All right, you got to do what you got to do. But then you use a carriage bolt and you put a washer under it, so the next guy can't even grab it with the vice grips because all you can grab is the washer. And then you leave 2 inches of thread sticking out underneath it, So you got 2 inches of rust to get through. In the first, oh my God. Just struggling. The latest development is, see this fella? That is the throttle. It is seized. It won't move either direction. So, well, who cares? Wow. It is linkage. That's the governor linkage. I have to rotate this carburetor 90 degrees to get it to slide up and out so I can take the carburetor off. But I can't get that end out either, which has got a Z-bend on it. So something has to give. You can't get this end out, you can't get that end out if that throttle is seized up, and I can't get to the back side of it to get it. This one, I ungummed it. This was just as stuck. It came back to life. That's the choke. So I've sprayed it full of WD-40, and it's plastic, so you can't pry on it either. And maybe I can pull it part way out and get at the back side. I can't press it with my finger. Maybe I can get it with these little gizmos and just very gently push on the direction it needs to go and see if I can get it ungummed. Because I could live with having to replace the carburetor, but I don't want to bung the control rod, because that's a nightmare. Trying to figure out the governor and resetting the governor and whatnot for your RPM, just ugh. We don't want to do that. So that's the dilemma. I'm going to struggle with it and keep trying to poke and wiggle at that and see if I can get that throttle butterfly freed up. And then I'll be able to slip this rod right up and out. See what I mean? Linkage at the top. It's got a slot in it. If you had room, you pull the carburetor off those bolts and just turn it this way, then the rod would come right out. You're done. Take it over to the workbench where you're going to clean it, ultrasonic, whatever. But I can't get it off. The struggle continues. Well, perseverance paid off. It's still a little gummy, but it's done. Of course, this gasket's gonna disintegrate probably, despite my best efforts to save it. That's just the way she goes. So I gotta get it off here, I'm pretty sure, to well, just it's not gonna do it. What's the devilish? That's the way it goes. Help me to understand. Why will it go everywhere but there? Oh, yeah, perfect. Checks out. Nice work. Yeah. Get free. Well, fail on that. We'll have to make one. Just. All right. Let's gouge our way into here. Who took my sockets? Well, for real. There it is. Because you know that'd be the size. Of course it is. I don't remember how these worked. Is that the jet? No, I think that's the drain. I don't know what that one's purpose in life is. Well, it's not the worst I've ever seen. It's not very good. Wow. There's just ain't much there. You would think that this would come back to life. Never seen that. I've never seen a plastic needle. Well, actually makes sense. Well, come on. I'm getting pooped for the day. Methinks we might put this in the ultrasonic cleaner. Maybe call it a day. Yeah, it's nice. Perfect. I did stick my mouth on that hose and test the fuel inlet, and this shutoff does seem to function. So, I mean, yeah. Let me work on ungumming this some more and fiddle. Clean it with some carb cleaner. Clean this all out. And I guess put it back together. You don't need to worry about chunky rust stuff going up into your engine. It's fine. God. Oh, can't even press this. So the latest update. Where did I stop telling you what was happening? Well, I got these freed up and totally loose, which was needed. Tried spraying carb cleaner through the jet and it wouldn't go. Well, yeah, through the main jet, it wouldn't go. And secret weapon, little tiny spec drill. I didn't have to drill. No, let me explain. The brass jet in there wouldn't come out. Stripped out trying to get it, so there was no taking it out to clean it. Next thing, I put in that little tiny drill bit, no pressure and not drilling, just pushing. And I felt something give and go through, and then carb cleaner would spray. Then I put it back in there and just ran it in reverse, very, very lightly up and down sometimes, and sprayed more carb cleaner in it. There's definitely a good jet that comes out of it now, so good enough for testing. I don't care. So I think I have an O-ring. I'm gonna have to make one of those green gaskets. Stupid gasket. But then I think I'm gonna quit for tonight. What else? Oh, I got the fuel line off the tank, so I just need to replace the fuel line to the shutoff valve. I just put the fuel line in the tank, and before I connect it, I'll run a little bit of gas in there and flush it. Then I'll hook it up to the carb and should be almost ready to test it. Got to add engine oil. I don't think I need the handle on it. I know I don't, not for testing, because I can manhandle it. There's places to grab that aren't hot or moving or something. And the on-off switch does work, so can always kill it, but should be it. I have access to the choke, no problem. I guess this throttle thing works, or we'll figure it out. So anywho, I'm gonna reassemble this car by making one new gasket, get an O-ring for that, and come back tomorrow. See if we can get this thing to pop off. Okay, so updates. I made a leg gasket. Didn't have an O-ring, put that seal back in, hopefully it doesn't leak, who knows. Didn't do what I said and didn't flush the fuel tank, but I can still do that. I just hooked the whole line up. Actually, I did look in the tank earlier and it was clean in there. I did add engine oil, so at this point, I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. I gotta use the engine hoist to get it down, but it should be ready to test for running purposes. And if the engine runs good and proper, then I'll fiddle with the rest, because there's going to be welding, bending that stuff back. New tires are arriving via Amazon. Have to make some kind of mounts for the handle. And I think that might, well, and I got to get a spark arrestor. But then I think maybe we'll have it buttoned up. All right, tomorrow, try to start it. Oh yeah, there's always time to fix it right the second time. Because I didn't take this apart. Because I just tricked myself into believing that everything was fine. That smells like gas. There's an O-ring. But one thing was for sure, it leaked a lot. Okay. What are we gonna find in here? Oh yeah. You don't need to worry about keeping track of what order things went in. Well, if this part's bunged, I got nothing for that. And well, first of all, I can't even get it out of there. Oh yeah, I can. Come on out. Well, I guess the only thing I can do is clean it up, spray it out. I mean, just. I think that's an O-ring. Yeah, probably. All right. Can't fix that part. But that should be, it wouldn't leak on the ground. It would just leak into the bowl, theoretically. I'm gonna get some cleaner, carb cleaner, a little brush, and brush all these parts off and look for an O-ring and all that. Put it back together and see if it seals. Hold on. All right, this time I'm gonna do the right thing. And you know I'm lying, right? How's that? Oh, come on. It catches on my glove. All right. This time, let's shove that on there and see if it leaks from the get-go. Can I do that? Let's get it back there. All right, now. Well, the pincher can't totally pinchify it. Ah, hold on, you're in the way. Can I get that? No. Come on, I need you to get on there. Okay, that is on there, right? I think so. All right. gonna find out. Well, it's not pouring out. I haven't turned it on yet. I think before, no matter what I did, it was pouring out. Let's see if I can see in there. All right, I'm sending it into the bowl. Good. All right, I'll turn it back off just in case. Wow, there's nothing for it now. Except we get outside and test it. All right, hold on. Let's do one more thing while I'm here. Before I try to start that engine, give me this thing. Oh, that's down in the dark abyss. I didn't think I'd be able to see that. Okay. You might say, well, what are you messing with that for? Well, it didn't have any bearing, right? On the inside? Well, good old days of Amazon, right? Look what showed up. My flat free tires. Well, let's be cheap and do the wrong thing. And it came with bushings for other shaft sizes. What's in there is 5/8, but it came with 1/2 inch and 3/4 bearings. Wow, this takes 3/4 bearings. So let's just smash the old one out and jam a new bearing in there and call it a day. Then we can say that this tire that I wrangled back on here is perfectly good. Smash! Smash! Oh yeah. Whoopsie. Come back here. Boop boop. Skadoonch. Hand one over. Oh yeah. You don't need the right size. What size is that approximately? Wow. Nailed it. Like new. Hold on. I know this side looks rusty and worn out. Like new. Oh, we just had all the self-induced struggles in the world. So, started leaking gas. I'm thinking, oh my God, it's the carb. No, it's the fuel line. I should have known, but sometimes I don't learn. When you get a fuel line that marginally goes on, you cannot expect to clamp it with those things. You got to get one where the inside diameter is a little less than the tube. There's nothing but problems. So I got a new one on there, and it was a struggle. And then I did again the right thing, and without having hose clamps, even though this hose fits tight on the ends, I just used a zip tie to clamp it on there. So yeah, but I didn't show it. All this resulted in me pouring all the gas that was in here onto the ground. You take your pick, either out the end of the fuel line or out the bottom of the tank. Take your pick. So it's time to give it some more. Or we'll be chasing our tails wondering, why won't it start? We don't have any gas. Right? Isn't that what Billy Bob said in Sling Blade?
We ain't got no gas.
All right. Hold on. Let me get you in a better position, get earphones, and then see what happens. Okay, make it happening. Fuel on. Choke is on. I believe that is low throttle. I don't know. Spark is on. Guess there's nothing for it. Let's give it some gas the other direction. All the gas. Oh, wait, maybe that's choke on? Let's try that. I can't read it. Give it some throttle. Wow, just. Ugh, take a break. All right, this time I took the air filter off because I can't attest to the quality of that thing. Choke is on. Fuel's on. Throttle, I can't tell. I think that's full throttle. I think. Let's just give it full throttle, I guess. Oh. It was off. You are so dumb. Back to min throttle.